Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is Sunday as we record in late November, approaching Christmas. It snowed here yesterday, which you would think, oh, wow, first snow. But you'd be wrong. I'm in the Twin Cities. It snowed literally right before Halloween. Oddly, though, it didn't snow up until yesterday for a whole month. But it did snow yesterday. There's snow on the ground, snow on the roofs of the houses as I look out of the window here in my office, and we're approaching Christmas. This is not anything to do with that. We are playing a game set in the MCU because it's MCU Sundays, MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe. I make no money whatsoever from this. This is an act of satire and love, where we take the sandbox of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and play games in it. This specifically follows on from the Secret Invasion Disney Plus series, using some of the ideas from that, combined with completely not Marvel thing. Valiant Comics had a series in the 90s called Hardcore, but it's CORPS, clever, where folks who just regular folks could take on one at a time superpowers due to a neural implant. And I just pulled that and dropped it straight into S.H.I.E.L.D. So this is MACE Core. And you asked yourself, did Rich go to the work of a backronym? And I did go to the work of asking someone else to help me with it. Mission Adaptive Combat Ensemble Project, which is the PCs here. This is the fourth and final session, the third and final mission, final, question mark. We'll see if it's good enough for the Disney Plus series content to get picked up for a new season. We don't know. It's fine. Maybe it's just a setup for a movie. So we have had some fun with our characters. Unfortunately, if you watched the previous three sessions, Andesh, we knew this. We knew this via scheduling and people having lives outside of games, that Andesh would be unable to join us. So Flyboy is Sir not appearing in this film for this particular session. I don't think I've mentioned this in previous sessions, but we do use safety tools for this game in all games that are run for the Open Hearth community, which this is one of them. And we use a layered set of safety tools, including ask first, lines and veils, as well as the X card. We even have romance options out there, but not that these characters have enough time during downtime to do such things. But there we go. So yeah, that's the preamble. Let's go around one last time and have folks introduce their characters. We're going to start from the left-hand side of our character keeper, heading towards the right, which means, Stephen, you go first. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Steven. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Pawn, Lionel Douglas, whose pronouns are also he, him. And Pawn has a background. Um, he grew up uh in crime and on the wrong side of the law, and worked his way up until, the local police noticed him, and then the, state police, and then the national. He worked his way up through the crime ranks, and eventually, he was recognized as being taking risks and things like that, and he was recruited by the MACE Corps, um, recruited by the MACE Corps in order to bring him in, and he's been on several successful missions. So they're, very excited to see he can work for them as well. Um, he has, um, he was in the last session. He was captured. He's reckless. He just opened all of the, prison cells for all of these superhero or supervillain people and just let them all go. He's might be in a little bit of trouble.
He just might be. Thank you so much. Next up is Mark.
Mark, he or them. I'll be playing Starfall, she, her, who is super stressed out right now, but looking to get some more trouble.
Okay. And then last but not least is Cody on his second character, because this game is just that deadly.
Just that deadly. Yeah, what's up? I'm Cody. I use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing Private Owen Ryan, call sign Orion. He's the rookie playbook. He's just kind of new to the team. He's already traumatized out a little bit. He's reckless. He's naive. He's willing to accept devil's bargains whenever they're offered because he's just trying to find the experience, man. He looks up to these superpowered individuals and man, if he can find a way to tinker and get himself some of them, that seems pretty all right. So yeah, but who knows? Does he even understand the consequences of what he's asking for? Obviously not. It's gonna get bad. I can tell. That's all. That's all you need to know.
All you need to know. In last session, you guys have finished up, successfully completed your mission to retrieve Dee Dee, a woman who had received the super soldier serum from capturing her from the brass monkey underground fighting circuit. There's a huge fight against some of the people who were keeping other fighters imprisoned, which you sprung them all. Why not? And then there was a bit of a fight with Dr. Doom at the end. It was fun because why not? Why not Dr. Doom? You guys have made your way back to the base. Did we have what was our exit for Flyboy? Was it he didn't make it onto the ship to out?
He was fighting with Dr. Doom in the sky with Captain Marvel powers.
That's it. The last we saw was him fighting so you guys can make a hasty retreat. Thank you very much. I apologize. So we will pick up with some downtime with you guys back at the base. I am very interested to hear what kind of downtime actions you guys would be pursuing. We specifically have a wish from Mark about your weird vice.
Yeah, so I definitely need to recover stress. I wonder if the weird is connected to our implants or the harvest project itself somehow.
It could. Certainly could.
We don't. Oh, we don't have any like tech people, but we do have. Who's our person in the chair?
Spider.
Spider. I was going to say Spider. That didn't sound right to me, Brian. We do have Spider. Maybe something with them.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have any ideas for any specific scenes, but
well, we could use this as our setup or excuse for the new special ability Synergize.
Oh yeah.
You can combine the effects of two different harvested powers simultaneously. You could be testing that. It's so weird that it's a stress recovery, but maybe we can fashion it
have like a danger room scene with trying to load extra powers up.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm imagining that you come in and Spider comes in and there's like an operating theater type thing, and then she's up in like a command Overwatch type deal. So she'll come in and she puts a bunch of electrodes on your body, and we see Starfall in the like half top thing, so we can see a little skin because TV. We need that. It's a little sex appeal, but it's Disney Plus
across. Yeah.
Yes, metal bands. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
And she's asking you questions like, and I don't know if you call her Spider or if you call her Rosa or Second Lieutenant Jaskin. I don't know. You can totally
probably Spider, I think, just because we're used to it from missions.
Yeah, it's code name.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, you guys are doing mission stuff, so she'll probably call you Starfall. She says, "Are you feeling all right, Starfall?" She's taping little electrodes, and
Madripoor took a lot out of me, so I'm fine for mission. I just need a little bit of downtime to just recenter, get my head back on straight.
Of course. Now, this is going to be a simulated virtual experience. That way, it does not overly tax your body in meat space. And she comes over and she puts like a little pair of goggles over, and it's like a sensory deprivation set of goggles. So it's like the top half of your head
Mhm.
kind of thing. And you hear this click, boom, and a soft hum, and then the noise starts to fade out. And you hear, can you hear me? And it
I can
comes
hear
through.
you.
Good.
Yep.
Good. All right. So I'm going to head back up and you hear clink, clink, clink as she's heading up a set of stairs. All right. What we're going to do is attempt to simulate the synthesize capability or synergizing two different harvested powers simultaneously. Let me drop you into a simulated environment and then boom. Yeah, it's like exactly you're like standing in a pretty nondescript brick building alleyway. You can hear now she drops in a little bit of sound for ambient noise, sounds of car horns, perhaps conversation, click of some of the heels of someone walking down the street. What are you interested in mixing into this cocktail, Starfall?
Let's try let's do Groot and Korg. Let's see how that works out.
Excellent. And there's like a little menu that pops up in a
Yeah.
HUD for you just floating in the air. You pop the two, and Groot and Cord as harvested powers together is interesting. So we look at harvest. So Groot gives you the ability to generate plants and extend your limbs. Ooh, and then Korg is rock armor. So
Yeah.
as you would combine those together, mechanically, that means you would have to pay 6 stress
Right.
to double up here. What does the combination of rock armor like Korg and the Flora Colossus capabilities look like? Is it like rocks with plants growing in between all the grooves kind of thing, or
Ooh, I like the Super Skull outcome is like part of it, like the one
two
half
different
kind of like
arms?
rocks out, and like I want to go grab a top of building with the Groot arm and kind of do that and come down, and like as I slam down, the like legs turn into rocks so I can like steady up there. And maybe it's kind of like a little bit glitchy, so it kind of like part of the ground also turns into rocks, kind of snaps back up.
Neat. Ooh, how does this feel, Starfall? How is your body feeling?
My body's okay. It's a little bit overwhelming. Uh, I don't think I've slotted group before, and uh, or the Flora Colossus before. I think there's something's happening in the back of my brain where it's a little bit harder to language is harder, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, I'm checking your records. You haven't grooted before. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe we should have tried to combo a couple things you already knew about. Let's continue forward. Let's do some movement here. Can you do just a little bit of hopping from building to building? I'm sure that'll be fine for you, right?
Yeah, and kind of like it's half like Spider-Man, like shooting vines and stuff. Sometimes
Nice.
like
And like pull back.
extending
We see some silhouette stuff of you
yeah,
jumping.
like extending like bridges across, or like a ramp like up to a skyscraper and jumping off, doing that way, and again like landing on like grabbing on, and like the rock extends out into the bricks, do the slide down.
Cool.
Bricks
Oh,
down.
this is great. This is great. You're doing really, really well, Starfall. How do you feel now?
This is this is a lot. I love it. Can I do 3?
Let's give it a shot. What would you like to add into the mix?
I don't know. Dealer's choice. Surprise me.
Ooh, okay. We see the HUD as you're moving along, and oh, here, let me drop in. Pop, pop, pop. You see a few AIM soldiers that pop in. They bring up their guns to bear and crash through them. It feels like oh shoot, what was that game? Crash Down, or the Xbox video game? Or
Oh,
Crackdown.
Crackdown. Thank you. So
Yeah,
close, so close.
it's
Yeah, like
so
Crackdown.
good. Yeah.
You're like beating them up, and they turn into like floating globules. Oh, what
Yeah.
are the shinies called in that one?
They're,
did
they're
they call-
called orbs.
Orbs.
Yeah.
There we
It's
go.
you need your different skill orbs.
Yep.
That's right. Let's get some orbs there. She throws in a little video game functionality, and she says, "Oh, well, if we're going a whole lot of shape changing, then I want to see you Hulk out." And swing to the number one. Warning, third power. And your body grows bigger, all the musculature expanding. And I think, Cody, you had established that at least for Orion, you don't turn green. Is that right?
Yeah, Orion didn't. He just got a very, very yeah, muscular.
Yeah. And I think like when the third one gets slotted, like it's things start getting out of control. Like it's a little less Groot and more like Akira, kind of like just like body horror. Like, oh, instead of like shooting out roots and stuff, it's just like flesh arm, but not like cool Mr. Fantastic arm, like gross Kaneda arm.
Yeah, Kaneda. Oh, you
like,
totally got me. I was right there. I was like, oh my. That please don't scream out Tetsuo.
Yeah. It like starts, I think Starfall like starts getting into it a little bit more because this is not her normal power set. I don't think she relies on. It's like, yeah, this is great. This is great. This works really well.
I don't know.
Like
That's really
shooting
concerning.
bone spikes through the AIM soldiers. And, yeah,
Awesome.
the powers are synergizing in a weird way.
That's awesome. She's though, we like cut back and look over her shoulder at the 5 or 6 different screens, and we see that like your various levels, your heart rate is way up, your brain waves are going crazy. And she says, we're gonna need to ramp this down. This is a lot, Starfall. I'm starting to get a little worried. Okay, I'm gonna pull a few things back here. And then what is Starfall's reaction as the power starts to seep away from her?
I think it's like a weird come down, like it's you know, still feeling hype without the ability to express it. It's a little weird, like, oh, come on.
But ultimately, this downtime scene is about recovering some stress by indulging a vice. So let's go ahead and have you make that roll and see when she starts bringing you back to normal space, how well you've fared.
Yeah. It's been a while. Recover.
Yeah, so you pick one of your insight, prowess, or resolve.
Yeah,
roll that number of
same
dice.
At this point. Cool. So I'm rolling 2 dice regardless.
Yes, exactly. Would you like to roll 2 dice, 2 dice, or 2 dice?
I think I'll take 2 dice this time.
Okay, cool. I accept this.
Let's recover as a 4 and a 1.
Cool. And you recover the amount of stress that at the highest die that you've rolled. So you recover 4 stress.
Cool. Half of it.
Yeah, not as much as you'd like, but 4 is better than.
It's better than nothing.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah. Awesome. That was cool. Yeah. Wow.
You're back in that sensory deprivation thing for a moment, and then she pulls that off of you and files a report. This is good. This is really good. Thank you. This was the most successful test of the synergize capability yet.
I am Groot. It's like, no, I'm okay.
Okay, good. She like laughed and then had that moment of, oh, is this trouble? And you're good. She
just burned out my language center.
Cool. Are you satisfied with that scene?
Yeah, that was super fun.
Excellent. Stephen or Cody, who would like to step up to the next downtime action?
I'll pop in. I don't need to do any de-stressing. I don't need to engage any vices because at the end of the last mission, I completely cleaned out and became reckless. So for my downtime action, I kind of wanted to do some tinkering or start a project.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I think the first mission was to recover the wand of Watum, I believe.
Yes.
So there's a chance that perhaps maybe in getting into the fighting ring in Madripoor, a certain sorcerer supreme was present. As we know, he's been known to haunt those places, and maybe, perhaps, one of the ops was able to get their hands on a sling ring. And I think Orion wants to tinker with it to try and create some sort of, much like the Harvest is able to shoot superpowers into us, can he create a device that is worn on the hand that mimics a sling ring? And so I want to try and build one.
Neat.
A
Oh,
lot of suppositions and assumptions. So you can tell me at any point that no, that's ridiculous. But maybe.
this is all ridiculous. It's
Well, that's
all
true.
levels of ridiculous. Like, if this were a longer game, if this wasn't last session, I'd probably say, oh, this is a thing I'd like to see a couple of downtime actions for. But in the container of what we have left, I think let's just make it a 4-tick clock.
Okay.
My very own sling ring. I stuck that in your project clocks on your character sheet.
Perfect.
Is a 4-tick clock. And you were specifically targeting tinkering. So give me a little flavor. Like, what does this look like? And then you're going to roll tinker, your action of tinker, in order to fill it up.
So Orion, he has what looks like it looks like a Nintendo Power Glove, essentially, right? And he's watching video footage of early fights of this sorcerer fighting the abomination, and he's watching the hand movements. And so he's trying to program it in so that the glove that you're wearing, he's putting little servos and motors on it. It activates and makes the hand gestures. You don't need to know how to do it. You just need to know, I want setting 1, I want setting 2, and your hand will automatically adjust if you go loose. So he has this hand on a mannequin, and he's twisting little screwdrivers, putting little gears and motors on the outside of it. And at various points, it's like it all engages and crushes the hand that's inside of it. Oh, that's not going to work out. And so he's building like a little gloved exoskeleton. And all the while, of course, there's 9 different cables running to the sling ring that is also hooked up to a car battery for some reason, just to get some juice running through it. And it's totally above board and normal. All of this is definitely successful. Successful uses of tinkering, I'm sure. Let's find out.
The dice will tell us if they are. This is great. A battery, sling ring, Nintendo Power Glove combo. Let's see it. Sounds awesome.
All right. So I'm rolling just 2 dice for my tinker, right? I have tinker 2. Okay. Is there any devil's bargains or anything? Anything?
Can we devil's bargain in downtime?
I don't know.
I think we
have zero idea.
Can. I think we can. Yeah. Here's your devil's bargain. I'll offer you a die if those things you're messing with, those who are skilled in sling rings will become aware of your intent.
Yes. Easy, 100%. You know it. All right. Adding a 3rd die and going to go ahead and check some XP. All right. Because I have the naivete special ability whenever I accept a devil's bargain. Yeah. All right. Tinker, here we go. 3 dice. A 1, a 5, and a 6.
Hey, that 6 is exactly the best to have. Well, next to best. You get 3 ticks on your project of 4. Now, one of the things we had discussed was the idea of tier being used to assign, and we never actually played with that because we haven't had a whole lot of downtime, honestly. And you being a private means, by those rules, you would have had to have been assigned. And I don't know how does that feel? Like, you being the player, Cody?
To being assigned to my downtime action kind of thing.
Like, yeah, you have to be assigned your downtime action. I'm just curious, from a playtesting perspective, does that bother you?
It wouldn't bother me, and there's a few reasons why. I took the rookie playbook and I chose the private, so it's like I chose to be, for me personally, for Orion, I very much chose to inhabit the low man in the hierarchy position of he has to do what he is told, and he kind of can't step outside of it. So I'm okay with that, where it's like if I want to get any extra kind of actions, I have to be ordered for it, because that's the place I took narratively, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I could see if I wasn't the rookie playbook and I was like a private, but I was also like the veteran or something, I'd feel like this doesn't really make sense in that way. But
Cool. So in normal blades, you could spend a cred and get an extra downtime action. But in the view of the ranking system, you would need to ask or request from, say, a second lieutenant. Wow, I just realized that without Flyboy, both y'all are privates, so that is wild. I assume Mark, you'd be cool with giving an action to either one downtime action to either of them.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
I think Orion like approaches with the requisition, like, oh, you need me to do something, while Starfall's like engaged in this VR monstrosity headset, and Orion's just like, yeah, excellent, thank you. I just need a few extra parts. This is all I need. This is great. Yeah, and gets your signature while you're grooting it up.
Nice. So, yeah, we will deal with if Starfall grants Orion another action when we go after we deal with Pawn. Pawn, what would you like to do with your downtime action?
I would like to train, and the scene I think I'd like to be in is the follow-on to the experimenting with Synergize. So in training, I'm going to train special ability. I'm going to take Synergize, and I think this is where Sergeant Trainer does the, this is experimental. We think it's okay, but it's the hard soldier view, right? Not the, VR, let's test this thing out. It's the, yeah.
Are you serious? This thing may melt your brain. It'll come oozing out of your ears, son.
Well, it's got to have a use sometime, doesn't it?
Don't come crying to me. It's not
Well,
like we have a retirement home around here for you people. This is
right.
it. There's one position for those who wash out, and I've got it.
Well, true. There's another position which is, 6 feet under. So, and if we're doing good, if we're helping out the family, then yeah, I think that maybe it's worth it.
Yeah, they will. I think there's like a quick bit of an operation where they laser out your current neural thing, and they like place in a few extra bits to it, and they put some fake skin on you.
Where do you imagine the neural implant is?
I think I've always imagined it like back of neck kind of thing.
Yeah, me too. And I think they actually like replace one of your spinal, column
totally.
discs.
Yeah, for sure. That has a definite altered carbon kind of vibe to me, and also the THX, all that stuff, all that imagery on back and neck is definitely why I think that's where it's at, right at the base of your brain. And it's not like Trainer does it; he just fills out the rec and signs off on it and shakes his head. Just not gonna make it. It's awesome. You now have that, but that's just spending XP. So you have a legit downtime action if you'd like.
I trained for that.
Oh, you trained for it. Awesome, Rock. So you trained to get the XP and then immediately bought. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, maybe we see Trainer as he's not juiced up, but he's your trainer when you do a little bit of not exactly synergize, because we don't want you to start a mission down 6 stress, but you get to play with it a little bit, and maybe Spider has you go through the sims as well.
And I think we see where, I come out and I'm a little twitchy and I'm having to get used to moving around, and then they shove a couple of things in, and, it's like having to relearn how to walk, oh, this is weird and all that. Of course, they did not tell me anything about Starfall's experience or Starfall's, hey, give me a third. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think they made you sign like only 2 powers until authorized. And they know Spider can just say no.
Cool. That's delightful. So
There are at rank of 4. You only have a rank of 4 between the 3 of you. And we don't have mechanics for people gaining rank. That's the thing that how do you gain rank? I'm tired of being a private. I don't know. 2 successful missions seems maybe it's like number of successful missions.
Or maybe you're spending
Yeah,
XP on it.
Yeah, I could see both. Like, yeah, you have an
Or
XP
yeah,
craft,
maybe
you
it's
have a
maybe
mission
it's
thing.
another downtime action that you
Ooh,
like
I
spend
like
Oh,
that.
XP on
sure.
or something. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of fun things you can do.
So in regular blades, it's that can be. We can talk about that after.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put
Mhm.
put a
Yeah.
note in. Okay.
Yep. There's definitely some cool
A
stuff.
tier kind of. Yeah.
So we've got effectively 4 downtime actions for the 3 of you to divvy up. You've each taken one. Starfall, you get to determine who gets the last downtime action.
I need to get the rest of my stress out, I think. So I think I'm gonna go do an obligation vice. I think that's gonna be a conversation with Dee Dee and see what is happening with her. Like, was she just harvested and thrown somewhere, or is she like being integrated into the team somehow? Or yeah, I think like I pull whatever rank I have to like get an interview with her wherever she is.
Awesome. So we pick up with you. I mean, this is a shield base, but I'm just imagining the kind of like visuals of army base. We shot on an army base,
Mhm.
right? So you're heading down through some of the base housing where people get. They're not necessarily in a giant Kwanzaa hut with their unit, but they get an actual prefab, effectively mobile home type thing, but semi-permanent mobile home. And you're walking down the rows of those, and then you come up to the trailer that has been assigned to Dee Dee. Knock on the door. She opens it. She's wearing civvy clothes. Oh, let's see. How would she know you? She's not going to call you Starfall. Soma,
Yeah.
come in. Step
Yep.
inside. You see that there's some creature comforts that all came with it. Nothing's been personalized. It still looks very clinical, looks generic, but you do smell some tea. And she heads over. Was just putting on a pot. Would you like one? A
Of
cup?
course, yeah. I think like as when she comes, like the British gets turned up a little bit, like less soldier, more British.
Nice. You know, Dee Dee didn't have many lines, so I didn't catch an accent, but the actress is American, so I'm just gonna go with Dee Dee doesn't have an accent. So she comes and pours, and it's very boring looking, nothing exciting about it. Tea kettle. She pours it into small cups on saucers, but it's enough. And I'm imagining it's one of those like small kitchenette type deal with a counter that also serves as your dining table kind of thing. And so she
Like
brings
the
that
RV
around.
kind of fold out
Yeah,
table.
yeah, totally. I love that. Yeah, it's very functional. And she comes and sits on one of the stools right beside you. She pours into your cup and then herself pours for you first and then herself. Soma, why the social call?
I just wanted to welcome you for starters. We the how are they treating you?
She got my own place to live that has a door I can use
In and
to
out
exit.
privileges
So
are
definitely an improvement.
Yeah, and as far as Shield's concerned, like she isn't being treated like a prisoner, but like what is the expectation that she is supposed to hang around until she's told what to do? Or
I think that's the standing order right now is like, hey,
Yeah.
you're in processing and it's unofficial. Like, are you
Yeah.
a member of S.H.I.E.L.D? Are you just a person who's going to be cycled out? How is that going to go? Is still
Yeah.
up in the air, I think. Does that feel right to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, and like we traveled across the world to get her, so like if she escapes, we can get her again.
Exactly.
And she knows that, I think. Yeah, so I think my question for you then is the thing that you worked for before is
Yeah.
well, what do you want to do next?
I joined the Flag Smashers because I wanted to make a better world, something more fair and equitable. What happened after everyone returned was it broke the world.
I think
And
everyone's
then,
still feeling that, yes.
yeah, yeah. And then I've bounced around from there. I was arrested. I get it. Then snatched away, forced to fight. Now I'm here. This is the first free days I've had since I took the serum.
So have you had time to think about what you'd like to do? This is clearly a military outfit, and I tell people what to do, and people tell me what to do. But you have a choice now. We do our best to make the world a better place as it is, but you're not a prisoner.
I know, but I owe you. Director Coulson offered me a position within S.H.I.E.L.D. if I wanted it. I'm basically just a big hammer. It's not like I was trained for espionage or anything that you guys do. Although I think I'd probably be better at this than Orion, but that's just. I couldn't really be part of your crew.
No, and you wouldn't want to be either. I don't know what would happen if and like the mind starts going back like what if someone with powers got
Exactly.
got spidered, like I'm gonna leave that to Spider to think about.
We can put like 6 powers on her. She's so much stronger.
um, Shield may think of you as a hammer, but uh, you have the same abilities that Steve Rogers had when he started, and he was not trained at all, and he made quite a difference. So think about what you'd like to do for the world and for yourself. I take the position. It's the amount of structure we have here is freeing.
That's interesting. I am tempted. I want to believe that S.H.I.E.L.D. is trying to make a difference. Director Coulson called me. He seems legit.
Coulson's a good man.
I still want to think about it a little more, but I'm leaning towards yes.
Take all the time you need.
It's better than working for the government. I do not trust those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sip her tea a little bit more. Do you enjoy what you're doing? You sound like you really don't think I should try it. Is there a reason?
Well, we come by our abilities in a different way than you do, and I'm not
Is
sure
it
how
different? I mean, I took a serum. From what Spider said, you guys have an implant.
it takes a toll on us in a
Sorry
way
to
that
hear that.
the serum would not, to the best of my understanding. I'm no scientist.
Well, you're really brave. What you guys did for me, I'll never forget.
Well, maybe you can do the same for us someday.
I hope I never have to, but if you need me, you can call on me. I won't let
Keep
you
that in
down,
mind.
even if I am just a big hammer. There's a little bit more tea in your cup than hers.
Nice.
Anything more you want from the scene? Good.
I think that's great.
Excellent. So let's have you recover. See
Let's roll.
how well things went.
A 5, 1 over.
Okay. So
Mhm.
when you roll higher than your stress in a recovery roll, you overindulge. You recover more stress than you have. You overindulge. Choose attract trouble. You can roll or pick an additional entanglement. That's not something we've actively used, but I certainly can pull out the entanglement.
Yeah, I
thing.
think I'm interested in the entanglements.
Okay,
Let's see what that happens.
fun. Let me open up the blades thing because I had it just a minute ago. What? It's not in the Blaze of the Dark's players kit? Son of a gun. All right, let me open the regular book. Sorry. I have like 20 iterations of the Blaze in the Dark PDF in the same folder because I'm dumb and I
Yeah.
don't move them to dev files. Why do I do this to myself? Come on. Oh, and am I misspelling it? Oh, I am. It's entranglement, Rich. That's
Entanglements.
I'm searching for entanglements, folks. That's why I'll never find it. Oh my goodness gracious. What is even going on? All right, entanglements. Trouble, the law haunted city itself. Entanglements. There we go. Awesome. Good. So roll me a d6.
All right. A 1.
Oh my, a 1. It's a
Entanglement.
gang trouble or the usual suspects.
Ooh.
Yeah, gang trouble. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Looking at time, I think this is a great chance for me to ponder on gang trouble or the usual suspects while we take our mid-game bio break. Okay, we're back from an extended bio break with some chatter in between. Hey, I just noticed, Steven, you're wearing a cool Open Hearth t-shirt. Look at
I
that.
am.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ah, nice. I'm wearing a totally inappropriate Mandalorian t-shirt. So Stephen, in the break you had mentioned you were interested in purchasing a downtime action. I don't have rules for that, but normally 2 downtime actions happen. So I think we will just let it happen, and that is a note to self.
Well, the
yeah,
the fiction that I have for this is, if you recall, Flyboy delivered something, and I have an underground,
Ooh.
you know, what's that called? Underground trade going on. So I think what happens is I come back to collect Flyboy's payment, and
nice.
that's me buying the downtime. What I imagine this is I meet up with this contact, and I think that because Flyboy isn't there, it's not just money. I think we're given a little bit of tech.
Nice.
And that little bit of weird tech, I'm like, I don't know what to do
Mhm.
with this. So I go to Orion, and I think this is something that could help out with his long-term project.
I like it. Let's have you roll to see if you actually fill it out. I mean, even with a 1 to 3, it's going to happen.
Well, that is the
let's-
question. As a private, I think I roll with 0 dice, right?
Mhm.
So I guess that doesn't matter. I can roll with a 1 to 3 and it's fine.
You roll two. Yeah, you're going to roll 2d6 and
Yeah.
keep the worst. But even with a 1 to 3,
Perfect.
you'd get 1 tick, and that would complete things.
Good,
but
good. That's
let's
perfect.
close the loop
Okay, so I'm
anyway.
gonna roll. Yep. Okay, so my lowest is a 3, which gets us the 1 tick, which gets you your power glove, your Nintendo power glove.
Your sling ring power glove.
Excellent.
So what do you think this weird piece of tech that was traded to us was that completed it?
Shove glove.
Oh, that's interesting. So I'm thinking it's
I-
similar to the sling ring, right? But what, Cody, you got ideas?
I think it could be. I don't have any specific ideas. I think it's something similar to a sling ring, or something that has a similarity in its weirdness, so that it allows like Orion to better calibrate the sling ring.
What if it's something from Asgard, like Asgardian tech?
Nice. Okay. Yeah. What if it's
So there's like a little bit of
a
sling
little
ring meets
rainbow.
rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, I was gonna. Yeah, it's like it's like a big chunk of rainbow glass, and they're like, no,
Ooh.
this is a piece of the bridge. Like,
From
this is-
That's
Mm.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Juice.
so it's a big rainbow crystal in the corner of the common area, and Orion's just poking it with cables.
Love it.
Sorry, I'm hastily writing that down because that's just too great. By the way, if you type in MCU sling ring, you find many Etsy stores where you could purchase such a thing.
Hilarious.
Awesome. That is a great. Thank you for being such a team player to finish up someone else's project. Very cool.
That's another question. I don't know if that's allowed in the rules. I looked in my draft rules and I think so. But yeah.
It's normally extra downtime actions are purchased with Gred. You did the logic of like getting paid for the thing that you did, so it holds up. It's definitely one of those holes in my hack where I stripped out some stuff, but I need to put a few things back in. That's a-okay. I like it. You guys are, all three of you are pulled into a meeting along with Orca, and you again, we're back in the conference room. We're reusing the set of the cool conference room with the hollow table, and Second Lieutenant Rosa Jaskin and Captain Lance are there. Lance would arrive last. He comes in. Good. Flyboy's yet to return on mission, so you'll be taking the club with you. Well, we have the time-sensitive mission, and we need you three, all four of you, to keep this low profile. Turns out that former Captain John Clash may be defecting. We have it on good authority that John Clash has taken some of our technology and has absconded with it. He's currently in Italy on a bullet train known as the Frecciarossa. And Rich has no idea how you're supposed to pronounce that. I think Freccia, I would imagine Italian, like the two C's would be a ch sound. I don't know. I really wish I'd Googled, like, how do you pronounce? But the Google and I did not work on that. We believe he's defecting to AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, one of our competitors. That means it is likely that you will meet some hard resistance. A rival faction, of course. This is retrieval mission. We would like to know what it is that Captain Clash has taken with him. But you may approach this with extreme prejudice. Whatever you need to do to make sure that our technology does not fall into the wrong hands, Starfall, that's what I'm authorizing you to do. Do you understand?
I understand.
Do not take treason lightly. Well, this mission needs to be executed with the utmost urgency. We will have the Quinjet up and running in 5. Do you have any questions? Right. So then we will step back. And what is your method? What is your approach?
So he's on the bullet train. I assume there are other passengers on the bullet train.
Yes, it is a
not-
passenger bullet train. I've revealed the new tab, Mission 3, if you want to see
Mission
some
3.
details. I'll even, for those who are watching at home, all dozen of you, the Chiarosa bullet train, main features of the trains, even have a cool picture of it with awesome little video displays. This is a passenger train. I imagine that it is somewhere between Roma and Caserta. Is heading towards Reggiolo di Calabria, but you're not sure where he's going to get off. So you come up with the plan, but at this point, I think it's like those little red things blinking here type deal. They've got eyes on, but at a distance, because Italy does not play well with S.H.I.E.L.D. due to a previous incident. So you do not have full access to just apprehend the guy. You're going to have to go in and do it extra legal approach. So there's your mission stuff. There's your deets. And I'm curious what approach you'd like to take or any gathering information you'd like to make.
I think I'd like to gather some information on this rival AIM crew. If they're going to try and how they are going to try. Are they going to try to get the stuff before he gets off, or are they the one that he is delivering to?
Okay, cool. Let's have you. What action are you taking to gather this information?
I guess it would be hunt, probably.
Oh my goodness! I just realized you did not. You still got post battle shakes and
I sure do.
Face is smashed, so you have a lesser effect.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Interesting. Okay, sad but true. So yeah, hunt sounds fine, but you're going to have a less effect because you're just a little dazed.
Yeah. So it's just going to be 1 die. Unless I can get it. I can't get a devil's bargain on the information roll, right? Can I?
I think you can get, like, we're in mission time, so you could get a devil's bargain.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, so you can get a devil's bargain. I think the devil's bargain is that when you were you at MI6 or
the ALS, Army Legal Services.
Army Legal Services. Okay, that's a little less.
Yeah, so we can juice it up a little bit.
It's all good. No, I think the devil's bargain is that there's a prominent member of the AIM retrieval team who you used to work with. Perhaps you had a very friendly relationship with.
Yeah,
a missed opportunity, perhaps.
I accept that. Cool. 2 dice. That's 6.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay. Well, on 6, you get the full info. Yeah, what you find is that, yes, this is very much a time-sensitive mission, estimating the amount of time to take a Quinjet to Italy and the information that you receive. Now, I'll give you the option. Do you happen to know this contact well enough to hack their credentials, or do they slide you the information on the side?
Yeah, I think I know their password is something like real them, like their dog's name or something.
Yes, their dead dog's name. Love it.
Yeah. Sparky with an A. with a 4 for an A.
Sparky with a 4 for an A. For sure. I'm writing that down. Sporky. So you hack into their idents and you find that they have set and actually when they make the stop in Salerno, that is where the AIM they're waiting for Captain Clash. That is the intel that you receive. But you also, it's a 6. It's not critical, but it is a 6. You also know that that's the receiving unit, but there are AIM agents who are secreted within within a few of the cars to keep eyes on Clash, but he is not aware of them.
Nice. I also have an insane idea, but I want to hear Orion's first.
Yeah, my insane idea for how we get on the train. And I know in these games you pick an approach. So I don't know exactly what approach this would be because I don't really know all 3 of the approaches. It's like deception, something else.
It's all deception, stealth, weird, social transport. Yeah.
Okay. So what if we just finished this here, my own sling ring. What if we are along the route of this train and I sling ring us into the conductor's quarters and we take over that train. And this way, my thought process here is go load heavy because we're not going through normal means. It's just throw bags through and hop on the train and we have all the gear we need, is my thought.
Let's do that. I love that. That sounds like an assault to me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, which I was leaning towards assault anyway. I wasn't sure how to do it without wrecking everything, so that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, and the great thing there is we don't actually really need the Quinjet. We can use this experimental tech and get there now rather than the flight to Italy.
Just sling right onto it.
Yeah.
What happens when you sling onto a moving bullet train? Let's find out.
That's BANANAS. I love it. What was your crazy idea? I do want to hear it.
I think we can still do my crazy idea, but I'll do it in a flashback.
Oh, fun. Yeah. Cool. Then it sounds like an assault, but it also sounds weird. I think he's using strange powers or technology to insert yourself, right?
Yeah.
That sounds
now, the good news is
let's go weird.
Let's call it weird. So let's start building that role. So now we have our approach and the strange method. Is this mission particularly bold or daring?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So 1D for sheer luck, 1D for bold or daring. Is this mission overly complex or contingent on many factors?
It's complex, but
yeah.
I'm gonna say it's not overly complex. It's pretty simplistic, but that there's a pretty big factor. Can Orion, for the first time, use his sling glove to pull this off? Fair.
Yep.
Yeah, because remember, the less dice you have, the better chance you start off in a desperate position. So you're back down to 1 die. Does this plan detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
I don't think they're expecting anyone to sling onto a train.
No, I agree. I think they think they've got it under control, and I would agree that that's definitely pretty funky. Is the target strongest? Oh, did I already say that? No. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? None that you know of, and it doesn't sound like it. So I'm going to say that is not a -1D. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for the mission?
Does that investigation roll count for that, or is that separate?
I don't want to double dip, so
yeah.
I think you need to bring in an actual friend or rival into it.
So I just realized, I know we're in the middle of building the role. We need to sling in Spider too.
Shit.
Oh, well, you can sling in and Spider can be on the Quinjet
above you.
So I don't want to add that. I think you're good.
Perfect.
So it'd be slinging in from the Quinjet down
Oh, true. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Perfect.
instead of like to Italy from wherever we are.
To Italy. Da-la-la. Okay, good. So any of your friends or contacts, it sounds like a no.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're sitting at 2 right now? Are any enemies or rivals interfering with the mission? I'm going to say Clash is not interfering with the mission. Number one, because he's the rival of a player who's not here, and he is the mission. But let me look at your other rivals.
Clash is my rival.
Oh, you're right. For some reason, I always have it stuck in my head that it's. Yeah, I think he's interfering in the thing. Like he knows you guys are coming. There we go. Yeah, so we're down to 1 die. Are there any other elements to consider, which could give you a plus die and take you up to +2? Lob glove. Shift and mitten. Oh, this is good. Sorry. The names that you are mocking up are delightful.
I don't know if this would necessarily apply, but I'm curious. Let me know, because of the suggestion of using the sling ring and then being able to take like full loads of gear. Would that make it more complex or easier, or would that influence it at all? I guess because my thought is like, oh, because we're able to do it this way, we'll have all the tools we might need. So maybe that puts us at a more secure place. But I don't know. I'm really bad at this game.
You're not really bad at this game. You do it fine. It's different enough to feel a little like okay, but you're doing great. I think that's interesting, right? It's not like you have the ability to cycle back and forth. You can show up in any load that you want. I'm okay saying that gives you a +2 up to 2D, 2 humongous D for your engagement roll. I gotta see that, and you can either roll Starfall or you can designate. You can command someone.
This is Orion's plan, so go for it.
Yeah, it's all your fault, Orion. If you blow it.
Well, I'm not going to blow it. I'm going to get 2 critical 6s. It's going to be great. It's going to be so sick. All right. So we said 2 dice? Okay.
Correct. 2d6.
Here it comes. Oof,
hey,
3 to 6.
6 at least.
That's a pretty good roll. So we'll just yank the rules over here and talk through. So on a 6, you're in a controlled position. It seems appropriate. What does opening up this portal look like? What kind of stressors does it put on you this first time that you pull this off?
I think the first time that I pull it off, it's actually, it harms my hand. I have the glove on my left hand, and because it's like kind of a computer. It's a computer generated portal, and it controls the digits. That if you're not really relaxed, it's gonna like cramp up and stress, because you're if you were to be making a fist, for instance, the glove is strong enough to open your hand, and you're supposed to just kind of be very relaxed, and then it'll do the circle or whatever it needs to do.
Nice.
That it's been trained off of footage of the Sorcerer Supremes and various sorcerers doing. And so the stressor there is that I think it hurts Orion's left hand. He's not relaxed enough, so he ends up straining his knuckles and fingers in his left hand.
Man, rough stuff. But you are able to computer generate through this Rainbow Bridge sling technology a portal. So we see, I think we see at first the yellow open of the portal, but then there are all these colors that striate across, and you're like shoving gear into the engineering compartment, which is I think there's a woman there. How do you deal with her? I'm going to ask Pawn. You're the talkie. How do you deal with the woman who is there? Like, she was obviously an employee. She's an Italian woman who is headed to from the engineer's compartment to the back, and boom, this portal opens up. She turns wide-eyed and says something in Italian that we voice over. How do you handle this?
So I jump out. I'm on point. I jump out through the portal. I'm, I have a traditional gun. I'm on point. I'm looking around. I see her, and I just grab her and throw her back through the portal for them to deal with, and that's it.
Steven, you're the talking guy. How do you deal with this? Oh, I just threw her through the hole.
That's amazing.
Hell
Orca
yeah.
will just quickly whack her, and she's out.
And then-
Was she a what was her role on the train? I guess?
It looks like
Which
she
would be
was
dumb.
a server.
A server, right?
Yeah, like a waitress or stewardess kind of thing. But
And then I
she-
set up a perimeter there on the train car so that they can bring stuff in and out. Yeah.
Cool. I would like to do my flashback now.
Ooh.
And this is after, right after the triple dip on the simulation, and after kind of cooling down, talking with Spider, and think we have all this super powered stuff. We have stuff from M.A.C.E. So clearly, did we? They might not tell us everything, but you can tell me. Did we manage to get any Skrull DNA in here?
Yeah, I think she would say, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
But if you were going to talk about it, what number would it be?
Man, this will be the flashback. Of course, the answer is yes.
Mhm.
And it would be, I think it's power number 14, right? It's got to be. So let's.
Why don't we actually say Dee Dee was number 14 and 13
Yeah,
was
13. That's so
13 is
awesome.
Skrull. Yeah, 13 Skrulls, clearly.
I had that same thought. I was like, God, power 13, that's got to be the strongest one.
Cool. Then I'm gonna do okay, Spider, give me a 13. How much stress is that flashback?
You double dipped, right? I think it's a flashback of 1.
Okay,
I
cool.
think that's the
That's
thing that you
4.
could reasonably get. So yeah, a total of 4 stress to get it.
Cool. And I will shift into the server.
Awesome.
And we just pulled off the train, like pick up whatever tray or bag or whatever. Just in the uniform.
What do you guys think? You think it's like it's an attune action to take on the shape of someone else? Do we think we should put that to a roll, or is it just you do the thing? What do you think?
I don't know.
I think the shifting the look, you just do it because of the stress, like that's the power. But I think if you're trying to then
You're trying to fool somebody, you have to
if it's like
injure
someone
the
they
action.
know or someone, yeah.
Okay.
Then it becomes like
Yeah.
sway or consort or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. I just need to settle that in my head mechanically.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's awesome. What a great flashback. I'm so excited by this. Man, Fury's going to be so mad. I expressly told y'all motherfuckers not to use Skrulls.
Whoops.
You were
so
on planet, sir.
she was going to the engineers, like the front of the train, right?
Mm-hmm. She was.
Okay. Cool. So do we need to take over the train to make this happen, or do we just need to go get the guy?
I think
we don't need the
can do
guy.
both.
We just need his stuff.
We just need his stuff. Right.
Yep.
So my thought is, we're in the engineering department now. I can do some tinkering and take it over, so we're not making any more stops, and thus avoiding the stop that he's supposed to make, and
Right.
then we can work from there.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go back to the train and look for the luggage compartment or luggage car.
Nice.
Pawn, you keep talking to people.
I'm just going to keep an eye out. I'm not going to approach any of the passenger cars but I am going to keep a watch on them to see if I can't pick out who the um other agents here on board might be.
Awesome. Describe to me your approach.
So I'm actually going to hunt. Ooh.
What?
So I'm going to use the hunt approach. So I'm going to
Okay,
look.
but then you were ooh, so I thought there was more. So.
Oh yeah. I wanted to check the harvest. We need to see that. I've done this before. Let's make a callback. I'm gonna ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your thing. You're the ghosty ghostess with the mostest.
That's right.
Delightful. Sweet. So to pay the cost and then shove
Ghost me
glove.
up.
Yeah. Spider says, okay, ghost coming now. Poof. And boom. You come aboard and you start moving through like a ghost, like you're going through the various, and it turns out this is totally funny to me. I was able to get the like seat mapping, and it's cute. It's very, very boring though. So we have inserted cars that don't exist. So you're headed back to, well, actually, I am going to borrow from one of the ideas is that each car has, because people, they get on this for a few hours, right? They bring some luggage because they're probably, instead of flying, it's just like they're taking a bullet train. For most people, the baggage that they have, they put it, and there's a small area when you first come on. You go to the left, you're in the car. You go to the right, and there's a little baggage area, and it's just wide open. It's just, like a few shelves, and you put your thing on there, right? So you pass through that, and you see that for a few. But how are you? So we know you're hunting. We haven't had the roll. I'm just kind of making sure that it all jives in our heads. What specifically are you looking for? And how are you able to locate it among all the passengers stuff?
Yeah, specifically what I'm looking for is the other agents that I think it's AIM, the AIM agents that are here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know they're there, but Clash doesn't.
Cool.
If I'm not mistaken, looking at the train, it looks like there's maybe compartments up on the side.
Yeah.
Above the seats, and I'm crawling through that. And I'll poke out every once in a while, just enough to see, just to look. Actually, I take that back. I am behind, so there's video monitors. I'm on top of the train, crawling
Mm-hmm.
through that top section, and I'm going to poke out behind the video monitors because anyone who's watching that would just see the monitor, but no one's going to be looking back, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's great. Very clever.
Yeah.
And so you're just popping your head down and checking each car,
Yeah.
trying to find folks that you or Spider, looking through your eyes from your display, your cam, can see. That sounds awesome. I think that you are still in a controlled position at this point. You choose your action, and I think you will have a standard effect.
Okay. Do you have a devil's bargain you want to toss in?
Why, yes, you definitely can have a devil's bargain. The devil's bargain. Oh, I was reading a game where someone like formulaically talked about devil's bargains, and I wish I had printed that out so I'd always have it. I think from a devil's bargain perspective, what's interesting to have here? You spot someone among them who looks exactly like Flyboy.
Oh shit, that's awesome. Okay. So I will definitely take that, and let me roll that. So I have a 2 in hunt, so that gives me 3 dice, and I rolled a 6.
Ooh. Wow. In a controlled position with a 6, that is a pretty rocking on. So controlled, you do it. So exciting. Yeah.
So
here. Yeah.
No, please go ahead.
Cool. So you are able to pick out AIM. It's a high science, high tech group. And what you find is you're able to pick out a few folks who have very not obvious cybernetics, but you have, we'll just say that you're able to see their heat signatures are very different. And there are a total of 4 of them. And they are all seated at various points around Clash. None of them in the same row. None of them in the same row as each other, but they are at the compass points around Clash. And they look super normal. Like there's a woman who looks like she's somebody's soccer mom. She's wearing a pair of Keds and a long dress, and she does not look like she was athletic at all. And then there's a wiry looking guy who looks like he's wearing Axe body spray. They're very, very nondescript.
And I think we see on the others heads up display, like, radio back to Spider. Spider then outlines passengers in green, and then these AIM agents in red, like with targets, like here they are. Boop, boop, boop.
Nice. They are in communication with each other. So this will be a coordinated action. You hit one, the others will know immediately. Orion, after shove gloving everyone in, gotta get that out loud because it's canon now.
Yep, it's canon.
Pawn takes off to scout. You guys get the ping. Starfall, Orion, and Orca, your club, are all there. Although Starfall, you wanted to take on a shape for a reason, so maybe I should circle to you. What are you doing about this? Look at this Italian server / stewardess. What would a trained version of a stewardess look?
A porter
called a
maybe?
Porter. Sure.
Yeah. I think my intention is get close to the target, or to not the target, to what's the name? Clash.
Yeah, use your
get
target
close to Clash
for sure.
and just our actual target is the thing. Clash. We don't care about him that much, but get near him so that if we need to do something to him, we can do that without alerting too much attention.
You come down, you walk right past the people the targets who've been painted.
Pretend to check tickets or whatever.
Yeah. And Pawn pointed this out to you, but this is the first time we, the audience, see that Clash has the regular, silver briefcase that's like handcuffed to his wrist kind of thing, right? And he's look, there's a little bit of sweat coming down. He's trying to play it cool. He's reading something on a little data pad. You can see it's a S.H.I.E.L.D. data pad, but maybe he's done something to where he can't be tracked, or maybe he's just that stupid. We'll find out. When you start to walk up, he says, "Hey, can you get me a Long Island iced tea, please?"
I absolutely can. Yes. And I'll go to the cafe car and get on my way to do that.
Cool. So that's what Starfall's doing. Orion, Now I finally, for real, come to you.
Yeah, I'm going to I'm going to take control of the train, and that means that here at the engineering thing, I'm going to jack in, put a little flip up laptop, and I'm going to be controlling the doors, the speed, the brakes. This is all mine now.
I love it. So you're tinkering. You're from a controlled position.
All right.
But I think AIM is here, and you discover very early on they've already done this. So you're going to have a lesser effect. You've got to out-hack their hacker, Orion.
Got it. Okay. So I have a tinker of 2. You can't. I'm going to take a stress to get an extra die, right? That's how that works.
Yes. You take 2 stress.
2 stress to help yourself.
If I help you, I take 1, so I'll do so.
All right. Well, thank you, Paul.
Well, it's just cheaper that way. And the way that looks on screen is, I've found, like, in my travel, like as I go up through the train, I found where they've tapped in.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm rocking 3 dice.
Sweet. Let me show you your opponent before you roll those dice, because I think Starfall would recognize her. This is the woman who used to own Sparky.
Nice.
And this is the device she's using. She's in a visual acuity. Where did I put my? Are you guys able to? Okay, it like disappears now. That's a cool tech thing that I didn't realize Zoom did now with screen sharing. Anyway, yeah. So she's somewhere else on the ship on the train itself, right? And she's got this VR thing, and she's sitting in like a lavatory or something, and she's just taking it over, and everyone's well occupied when people come and knock, right? Move on, and she's keeping control, and now you come in, and you're going to try to insert yourself 3 dice because you're getting a push. You have a lesser effect. Do you want to do something? Do you want to take that help that Pawn gave you and push that lesser effect to standard effect?
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot that's how you can do it. You can either take a die or that is what I'll do. I'll keep my 2 dice and take that extra die to become a standard effect.
Awesome. And then the other option is that you can take a devil's bargain, right? Because as long as the help is either for effect or dice, then you can use the devil's bargain for the other one.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, if there's the devil's bargain out there, Orion's always interested in learning the dark side.
I love that. So I'm just gonna pull the table. Are there any devil's bargains that are intriguing to folks? I will also try to think of one.
It's kind of double dipping on one we've had previously, but you gave me the devil's bargain of when I was making the sling ring or the shove glove, as it became, that when it gets used, the people who are familiar with it are going to be intrigued. And I think I would just say, not to bang the same old drum, there is a certain fellow who often finds us on our missions who would be very intrigued by the use of magic so close to his borders, I think.
Oh man. So yes, I will go ahead in mission 3. Hold on just a second here. Because I think that's a fine idea. So with that in mind, let me share screens for a thing that we just move off to the right here and just unhide this. Oh, what is oh goodness.
Oh, look at that.
Hey. One check on Dr.
Oh.
Doom arrives. He's just he's the one-handed man or something of your fugitive, whatever. One-armed man.
Amazing.
Sweet.
So funny.
I was like, I hope that we go here. Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right,
sounds
so
good.
I'm using 3 dice for standard effect.
Yes, you are.
I got a 2, 4, and a 6.
A 6. Sweet. So you assert control. You're able to take over the train. You didn't completely eject her from the system. That would have been critical. She's going to be trying to retake control at times, and she's probably going to inform, hey, something happened. So at that point, Starfall, you're in the bar car getting a Long Island iced tea. I assume you're going to do something.
I sure am. Yeah, I think I'm going to check my unusual weapon in my gear and make that a heavy sedative, which I can put into his drink.
That is so unusual. I accept.
And cheerfully deliver it back to him.
Awesome.
Your Long Island iced tea, sir.
We have the like
a little
cam
heavy on
over
the
your
tea.
shoulder.
Yeah.
He
Heavy on the
winks
Long
at
Island.
you. Pawn, what are you doing right now? Because that soccer mom lady, she's gotten up and she's walking back towards you, Starfall, as you're about to deliver this drink. So what's Pawn up to?
So I've been watching to make sure things happen. I've been monitoring communications. I think Orion has said, I'm in, and whenever that happens, immediately Soccer Mom stands up. I'm going to get in position, and I'm ready to back Starfall up if anything happens. So I'm not going to engage until I'm told to, but when things go down, I'm in.
Sweet. So you start to hand it to Clash, right? And then the soccer mom puts her hand on your wrist, and her grip, her hands are very cool to the touch. No sweat, no perspiration whatsoever. And it's firm without squeezing to hurt. She says, "I'm sorry. That's from me." And Clash looks, and he doesn't know this lady. He's like,
Oh,
"Get your own."
Sorry, ma'am. I can bring you one if you like. This gentleman ordered the tea.
And she starts to squeeze harder. "Please, I insist."
And I feign a lot more pain than there actually is, and spill it on him.
Oh,
Ow!
oh! He's got the briefcase. He's like, "Oh, son of a."
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, sir.
Nah, it's her fault. Get out of here. What's your problem? And the lady seems, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry. I'll just return to my seat now." And she
I'm
looks,
sorry,
she gives you
it's-
the eye of like, "Oh, I've got eyes on you," but it's intimidating in a weird
Yeah.
way. And she's got this like, I think she's got like those finger bangs, that like curl over, and her hair pulled back into a little ponytail type deal, frumpy dress and everything. And then she just cruises her way back to her seat, and Clash is like, "Gotta."
Can I help you get cleaned up, sir? Is there? I'm sorry. Well, I'll get you another one on the house.
Cool. Do you want to like convince him to let you help? Because otherwise he's just going to go to the
Yeah.
lavatory. And
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, maybe well, if he's going to the laboratory, then I mean I could let him go communicate to Pawn. A, we're made. B, he's headed to this laboratory if you want to pop in there and do what you do.
nice. So you give that quick notification. The rail skinny guy, he comes up and he says, "Ma'am, can you help me with something? I put my bag in the front. I can't find it. Can you help me locate it?"
Of course I can,
And he's
sir.
like glowing red because he was painted by Pawn.
Yep. Of course. Please show me where your bag is. Lead the way.
Sweet. So you head out of the main like car area, and then there's that baggage, and then there's another door to the next car, right? And he goes, and the door it closes behind him, and you see his hand start shifting into something metallic like a gun. What do you do?
Yeah. Punch him.
Yay.
Punch him in the soft face, hopefully.
I think that we have moved out of control from the narrative. I just want to check in, make sure everybody feels that that's fair. Okay, cool. Sweet. So yeah, I think Orion, you control the doors. The door just closed behind the two of them. You see what he's about to do. So you could easily help or do a thing as Starfall is going to strike at this guy. You guys are in clashing, you're fighting.
Yeah, I'll I'll help by just locking the door behind him. I guess keeping the area secured.
Nice.
Just
cool. Not even a die roll. Don't have to spend stress. That happens. Starfall, let's have you go here. You're currently in a risky position.
I've got 2 dice to skirmish. I am open to a devil's bargain.
Yeah, don't forget you are still hurting.
Yeah.
So devil's bargain is that that rival gang shows up into this fight.
Ooh. I don't think I'm going to take that.
Okay.
But I will trade position for effect. I'll go desperate to get standard effect.
Okay, that sounds amazing. I love it. It's very clever. Do you hear what is going on here, Cody? Mark's giving himself an XP and making things a little worse. So that's great. I think what happens in the desperate position is that this gun shifts, and then there's this like red laser that slices across and cuts several of the bags right beside you in half, and he's trying to bring it in as you're going at it. So
nice.
What action would you like to use?
I'm definitely using skirmish.
You're in standard position. The two of you are fighting. You've been trained for this. Sounds good. You're rolling
See
2
what
dice.
happens. That's a 5.
Ooh, a 5 in a desperate position. Go ahead and mark XP for that. What are those things called? Dang it. I always mess it up.
Action or not action,
Prowess.
the other thing.
Yeah, your XP and your prowess. All right. XP and your prowess sounds like I don't know, a college band song or something. Maybe. I don't know. 4 to 5 in a
One in the
desperate
prowess,
situation.
2 in the resolve. Yeah.
You do it. You do it with a consequence: severe harm, a serious complication, reduced effect. What were you looking to do? You were clashing. You've hurt him.
I just
obviously.
want to knock him out.
Knock him out. Awesome. Yeah, you cold cock him, but the laser had like sliced into you, and I think I'm gonna be mean. I think you would normally need help, so this is a 3 die thing that's coming your way. 3 harm.
3 harm.
You got lasered. You want to do anything? You want to resist that?
I want to use armor for starters.
All right.
And
So
since
that'll
I'm
take
heavy,
it 2 die.
We've got heavy armor this time.
You do.
We've got special cyber weave.
Thanks to that shove glove.
Yeah, we can bring in whatever we like. Yeah, so heavy armor, will that take it down?
It'll take it down to a level 1,
which will take it up to a level 2.
Yeah,
so I'm going to resist that. Or actually, I'm going to use my special armor, which is my seasoned campaigner, which can reduce consequence from harm. The effect, I'll get more post-battle shakes. I'm already having a bad time, and this is a lot for me right now.
So I think it's one of those where it's cosmetic damage. Like we see the laser, but you're like able to push
stars across the battle armor.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like rips the shirt just a little bit, shows some cleavage because MCU. Awesome. Yeah. And then you cold cock him, you knock him out, and he's lying inert. And Orion
shove him into the baggage compartment.
Yeah, you get the ping. Like you see this action happen, and the other 3 AIM agents who are on board are aware of what's going on, and one of them kind of looks like a heavy set guy wearing a like frumpy suit, like he's an Italian businessman. He's making his way to where Starfall is right now. Soccer Mom is heading back to where Clash has gone into the lavatory.
Does he have a visible comm? Like if I dig in his ear, does he have it, or is it cyber comm?
Oh, it's cyber comm. It's like
okay, cool.
It's the throat mic and that kind of thing. He looks super normal.
Yeah, so I would like to push him into the baggage compartment, and when I come back on the frame, have his face.
Nice. Pawn, Clash has gone back to the lavatory, and he is, he's dealing with like taking off his suit, and now he's trying to figure out, how do I get the suit coat off when I'm handcuffed to the briefcase? What are you doing right now, Pawn?
So I think what we see on screen is he's like in this small little lavatory trying to do something. I slide down from the back, and we see, me drop into the lavatory with him. He turns around, looks in surprise. I'm going to grab the briefcase and phase it off of his wrist. And then I'm going to I think I just want to blast him. What's the best way? I want to hurt him. So I think, that's easy.
I think he sees like your vague outline enough to be like, maybe he sees you in the mirror or something. And he says, Lionel Douglas, you dirtbag. That's rival.
Yeah. As I'm phasing it, I grab a hold of the case, phase it out, but I let the handcuff, as it's phasing through his wrist, solidify.
I'd like to see you put that to a roll. I think that's some stuff. So
that's probably skirmish and not prowl.
That feels skirmishy. Yeah. You're being pretty vicious now, so good job there with your trauma.
That's right. So let me I'm gonna just roll my 1d6. That is a 1. That is a 1.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I think here's what happens. You solidify that handcuff in his wrist. He screams out in incredible pain. Uh, and as soon as you do, like you're starting to phase this briefcase away, maybe just a moment of savoring that you got this guy. Then the lavatory door explodes towards you and it passes through you and slams into him. And standing in the area in front of that is a guy who's got a fucking wrecking ball, like a chain on a chain. And he starts, and he's going to clock you in the head with it. What do you do?
Great.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hold on.
I-
This is Force in the
Okay.
Dark.
Oh yeah.
Because I get to just do a thing because you failed, right?
Yeah.
So he crashes the door in. There's a moment, and then he throws the wrecking ball and slams you in the side of the face for 2 harm. I get to do that. I forget. Force in the Dark, I
Okay.
can go harder. So no soft moves here. That is my hard move.
I'm going to, let's see. Yeah. I think I'm going to use my heavy armor
Mm-hmm.
the same way. That'll lower it by 1, is that right?
Yes, it should.
Okay. And I think I'll just take that.
Heavy should do
Office.
2, right? Or is that
It's 2 harm. So if you expend an armor, it knocks it down to 1 harm, and you're just going to eat the harm. No resistance.
And armor and heavy armor, do they do the same thing?
No, we played it like heavy armor would take it down 2 steps. Armor would just take it down 1 step.
Okay, then I'm going to do heavy armor, and I guess there's no harm.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I think it's
Same
a thing.
here.
And that armor, that heavy armor, is something we brought with us, but mine is part of the ghost suit to contain things that allowed that wrecking ball to just pass through.
Nice.
Wicked. Okay. So yeah, it like absorbs and this guy who's wearing just like a wife beater, he's muscular, bald head, 5 o'clock shadow that just seems to never go away. He goes, "Give me the case, I'll let you live, punk."
And that's whenever I think I go, Spider 18?
Oh, Rich needs to know what's 18.
That is 15 plus 3, so that's 4.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
She totally knows what you're doing. Rich
Yeah.
didn't. She's better at her job than Rich is. So, and you are synergizing. That is amazing. Sweet. So, yeah, he's going at it as you juice up with a second power. This is awesome.
And I'm just going to blast him.
Do it. I think. What action are you using here?
What I really want to do, yeah, I think this has got to be skirmish again.
Yeah.
And do you have a devil's bargain?
Devil's bargain. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. God, what's a good devil's bargain? Because I just keep amping up violence, but there's got to be some other risk. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the devil's bargain is that there are a couple of, like, in this part of the car, there are a couple of innocent civilians who are going to get majorly messed up if you don't do something to make sure that they are not in the line of fire. Because this guy, he does not seem to care.
It's tempting. I heard our orders were judicious, right? They were
prejudice.
so
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take that and
Okay.
deal with the consequences. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
Yep, let me hit that.
It's why you guys are
Ooh.
superheroes, I guess. You're
Yeah.
just soldiers.
That's
Oh my.
and it was the difference. I rolled a 2, which would have been a failure, and a 6 because I had judicious prejudice. Yes.
That is awesome. So what were you trying to do to, we'll just go ahead. Spider says, "Oh shit, that's the absorbing man. Be careful."
Oh. And I think what this looks like is we flash back to the train, and we see this lightning bolt come out and blast him across the side of the train.
Sweet. So that's it. Is you like lightning bolted him with Thor power. That is incredible. He gets blasted across, and I think that is like the gig is up at this point, right? A man just got lightning bolted down the main car, the passenger car there. The AIM agents, all two of them, because one's coming towards Starfile, but the other two are now acting on this. Orion, what are you doing? Because you're the man in the chair, but I want you to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, Orion has 2 goals. He is trying to kick out this other hacker system to fully control it. And as things begin to pop off, he's attempting to locate, hinder, and otherwise kind of line up the enemies. Since somebody, a member of Wrecking Crew just pounced on Pawn, it's like, okay, where are the rest? Lock their doors, open this one so this one can get through, so that Pawn can fight them one at a time as he needs to get from where they are to the compartment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
cool. So you're trying to hinder your enemies and keep them, the Wrecking Crew, anybody else, from being able to intercede in what's going on with Clash and Pawn and possibly an AIM agent and Starfall.
Yeah.
Sounds like a help role is just being set up, unless there's a thing you're trying to actively do for yourself, unless you want to deal with the other hacker specifically.
Yeah, let me deal with the other hacker specifically. And I'm kind of actually looking to see if there's anything wild I can do with the harvest. And I don't think so. I don't think it really applies to any of the kind of hacking stuff. And that's fine. What I will do is I'll use one of my many load options that I've yet to use. And I'm going to use up I probably should have already used hacking tools to do what I was doing. So I'll use tech tools as well to try and what I want to do is I want to do a lightning fast system reboot and like cycle security stuff so that the other person would have to rehack through it. And I'm hoping that I can do this controlled, like shut down and shut back and turn on, and just give them the boot.
Love it. That's awesome. I just realized you have a friend named Snot, and that
Snot's he's a real cool guy. It's tough being an urchin in Sokovia.
Yeah. Dang it, we should have seen with Snot. I'm missing that opportunity with Snot. There has to be features Snot adventures. But I guess there's Snot. Okay. Orion. Couldn't resist. Wasn't even good, but I just had to. So it sounds like that will give you an ability to the narrative capability to perform an action to kick her out. Let's put that to a roll.
Okay, so it's Tinker. That's 2D. And now, how do I go about making this desperate? How do I get that sweet juice? I mean, it's a pretty wild move, right? To turn off the power on a bullet train and hope that I can reset the system fast enough.
It does seem amazing and awesome, and I love it, and also dangerous, and everyone dies. So swapping position for effect is what right now you're sitting at. Doing a full system reboot while there's a hacker sitting on there. Do we think that's standard or limited effect? Or do we think this is a desperate action? I guess we could very easily say this is a desperate action because you're doing something that, if it goes badly, is going to go really badly. Standard effect, desperate situation.
Okay, I'm into it.
Fair?
I'm into it. Yeah, that's that. I think so. I think restarting everything is probably a pretty wild move.
Okay. Good. So that is what you're doing. I love this with all my heart. Best of luck to you.
All right, here we go. 2d6. A 1 and a 4.
One and a 4. Well, the 4 means that you didn't absolutely fail. So hey, congrats for that. Let's see in our rules for a desperate action 4 to 5. You do it with a severe harm, a serious complication, or reduced effect. I think. And again, remember we do have safety tools. Let me check. I don't think we have even come close. Yeah, harm to animals, harm to children. Ask first. Do we feel like the? Oh wow! I could just take the clock on Dr. Doom. I could just do that.
I have another suggestion.
Oh yes, yes.
In my mind, if this has gone really well, I would describe it this way. So I think it still happens this way. A part of what Orion's doing to try and juice the system here and cause like a refresh is he's plugged in his shove glove, and I think the feedback, like whether it cracks the crystal from the Bifrost or fucks up his glove, that's no longer their means of escape. Like they can't shove glove out.
You can't shove glow out. That is perfect. I love this.
Really
no
good.
notes. 10 out of 10. Yeah, the entire main system goes offline briefly. All the lights go out. People are screaming. They're already screaming from the guy who just got lightning bolted across the way. The lights go off and then clink, 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 clink. They start coming back on. Starfall, guy was trying to get into the car with you. He reaches and wrenches the door open and then shoves it far enough to where he breaks all of the hinge axle, everything, and he's stepping in to hurt you. What would you like to do?
And so he is not with the guy who I look like, right?
He is with the guy who you look like.
Oh.
So he rips that open and sees you.
I'm like, they've got the case. We got to get him.
He turns and he will run.
And
that
what does he
way.
look like?
Heavy set Italian businessman.
Mm-hmm. And that's when I take out my pistol and second pistol and shoot him in the head like that from the back.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I think you are in a risky position.
Mm-hmm.
Lights are like flickering on and off. He's running, all that good stuff. Standard effect, except for the fact that it's for you, not standard. It's a less effect.
So Hunt is shooting with precision from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
It still feels like a skirmish because I'm in close combat.
I could buy that for sure.
Yeah, because like point blank in the back of the head, and hopefully he doesn't turn around before they go through his face. So I'm gonna skirmish there.
Would you like a devil's bargain?
Oh, I'd love a devil's bargain. Yeah, let's hear about that.
Sweet. So as you're firing, you glance over and there's a guy who's putting on this like green ski mask.
Great. I love that. Yeah, let's take that.
Sweet.
So that's 3 dice, and again, I will trade position for effect and go desperate.
Awesome. You are now desperate, but you are having a standard effect with an extra die from the devil's bargain. Very clever.
Hey.
Just pay attention, Cody, to what Mark's doing, because that's some good stuff. The real
pulling
stuff.
all the levers. 3 dice for a double tap. That's a 4. All right.
Okay, a 4 means that you do it with a consequence, severe harm, serious complication, or reduced effect. And I am just, even though we are 7 minutes away from official time, I can't help myself. I'm clicking the Dr. Doom arrives. That is the consequence there. You guys have no exfiltration capability, no easy exfiltration. Dr. Doom is halfway here. The wrecking crew is the rival gang. And my dog has just decided something very, very terrible is happening. So I'm just barking about it. I apologize. And you take him out. You do the thing. But yeah, this thing starts to, I think it may have to be a cliffhanger at this point. We are 1 minute away from cliffhanger happening. Who wants to get one last desperate or possibly risky action in? Pawn, you've got the case.
Yeah, it's like pawn phase out of there.
Yeah. I turn around and I look and glare at Clash and then I step on top of the little sink that's there in the lavatory and go up through the ceiling. And I'm running along the top of the bullet train or falling on, on the top of the bullet train, trying to get up to the Quinjet.
Quinjet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think the Quinjet, like she comes and they drop a line down to you because I'm sure Orion says, "Hey, my gloves, my shove gloves ruined." So there's a knotted rope that's dropped down your way. It's
oh, and
knotted to me.
I just tie the case off to it and drop back in.
Yeah.
Nice. Sweet. So yeah, you tie the case onto, you attach the case to the rope. They start pulling it up quickly. You drop back in, and I think this is the point where we have to say, do we say cliffhanger? Like, or do we? Okay, so we're not even epiloguing. We're just cliffhangering with you guys with AIM, cyborgs, and the wrecking crew.
Yeah.
And possibly
And
Polaris. Next issue. Sweet. So let's do the XP part because never know if we're gonna come back to this. The answer is yes, we're probably coming back to this. Had a lot of fun. So Pawn, did you address a challenge with tracking or violence?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely
More than once?
tracked the people on the train. And I don't want to double dip, so yes, that's one.
No, this is if you do it more than once, you get 2 XP. But
No. The next thing, another one is, did you use your traumas? And I was vicious. I didn't want to
yes,
say that, violence was the same thing as
vicious.
vicious. Right?
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, or background?
Oh yeah. The underground fencing thing that I had. Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I now imagine Pawn with like an epee or a foil, but I knew you meant a different fencing. Just for a
And
moment there.
I have another XP trigger, which is that I get payback against someone who harmed me or someone you care about, which would be Clash, right?
That's 4 XP for you then.
And if another character helped me get payback, they also mark XP. And I think Starfall was the one who sent me after them.
Yeah.
Cool.
I accept.
Good. Starfall, let's ask your questions. Did you address a challenge with violence or discipline?
Sure did.
Yeah, you did.
A lot of violence.
I think discipline too. Like your downtime scene with Dee Dee. I really liked that. And it felt
I feel
like it
that's
was
more hitting the vice.
Oh, beliefs drives?
Yeah.
The vice? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, did you express your beliefs drives or background?
Beliefs drives background. I mean the military, like trying to military for sure.
Okay, sweet. And then did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I feel like yes, because I don't know how honest I was being with Dee Dee about like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Like it's still, you got some people telling you what to do, but you can do whatever you like.
Awesome. I agree. So that's 3 XP then, right? Because of the bonus.
I would like to take 2 for violence because I did a lot of violence.
That was a lot of violence. So that'd be a total of 4 then.
Yeah.
Cool. And don't forget, you can mark that on Insight Prowess or Resolve, but it's easy enough just to do it there. Orion, did you address a challenge with recklessness or naivete?
I personally think shove gloving onto the train is reckless when I had
pretty
used it.
Pretty reckless. I strongly agree. What about any others? Do you think there was a second?
I suppose attempting to turn off the train again, turn it off and on again, is pretty reckless maneuver, putting everybody at risk.
That was putting a lot of people at risk for sure. What about expressing your beliefs, drives, or background?
For that, do vices tie into beliefs, drives, or background, or no?
They have their own separate thing, struggling with issues from your vice or trauma.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I would say tinkering on the glove. That's an academic background thing.
Sure. And then did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I wouldn't say struggled. I feel like actually things went pretty well. So yeah, for me, I wouldn't say struggled. So no.
Fair enough. All right, cool. So we're at our last session, which means, and we don't really have time for it anyway, let's just end off with some cool stars. Cody, we went last with you for XP, so you get to go first with stars. Do you have any stars from the session?
Oh man, a ton, absolutely a ton. Mark, the detail of the Groot language making it hard, the fact that you came out and you're like, I don't know how to speak. That was such a a really cool little detail to see powers. And I think that whole scene that you set up was actually a really awesome use of us getting to see more powers than what we've used in our missions.
Mhm.
So I just a big star to that. Also, your description of changing identities and stuff on the train, it's like you throw them out of frame, that you come back and your face is something else. Awesome. I also appreciate that you were burning through the heavy load that we brought, because I love that. I used that, I wanted to set that up. It's like, we can have all the gear we want. And then it was like, I use gear.
Mhm.
That was great. Stephen, big star to finding a way to help me finish my little project. And for all of us to figuring out what that device was and how it worked. I think that was just really, really cool. Stephen, you're also a king at phasing. And of course, yes, the naming of the shove glove. Rich, big star, your Lance Reddick is so damn good. Like, do you just
thank
play
you.
a ton of Destiny and so you hear his voice all the time? Because you nailed it. The Doctor Doom arrives clock popping out of the side already being there. That was such a pro move. That's
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. And then the last star, this mission in particular it really felt like Mission Impossible. It was big Mission Impossible vibes on this one, and I thought that was a great kind of change from some of the other ones we'd had. So yeah, big stars all around.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Cody. That was great and comprehensive. Mark, did you have any stars that were left out on the table? Cody was
Yeah,
very selfish.
Supernova for the slinging onto the train plan. That was that's I think one of my favorite things from any Blades-ish game I've done in a long time. That was so boss. Yeah, just everyone working together. Like, it felt like even though we didn't like discuss the plan, everyone felt like we were on plan. We got to use all the different powers, work to strengths. Stars to Rich were just like shoveling on so much bad stuff to deal with. This could have been just an easy job, but it is 100% not. And yeah, it was just super fun all around.
Excellent. Thank you. Steven, any left?
Yeah. Number one, I wrote some down while we were going because I had to, right? Number one, the idea of using Tinker and then creating kind of a sling ring hack and combining that with the weird stuff was
Mhm.
brilliant. And I didn't know what that piece of tech that I'm going to trade for this piece of tech. And the idea of it being a chunk of the Rainbow Bridge was awesome.
So
And
metal.
then I loved, you were like, I've got a plan. Mark was like, I've got a plan. But, Cody's plan with the sling ring was so good. And then you were like, I'm going to do mine as a flashback. And that scroll flashback was amazing. And then Rich, so basically, at the beginning of this, whenever I first signed up for this, I'm like, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure this is my thing. And then you pitched it as hardcore. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And then every session, my brain and my imagination has been full of all of the things, that could happen. And it just exceeded my expectations. And these Blades in the Dark rules work so well for superheroes, and
Yeah.
this harvest stuff. This is the Blades in the Dark superhero rules I
Yep.
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. The harvest stuff is so like, it's so great because we get to play with a bunch of different powers, and the cost is like just enough that's not we're just like swapping in powers all the time.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
hot.
And I want to say that, I kept, like, during the session, and as other people were doing stuff during their scenes, I was like, what can I do that'll be cool? And everybody else started doing things that were much cooler than I could come up with. So thank you all very much. It was so good. Yeah.
I have had such a great time with you guys in this, because I think we all have, Cody probably a little bit more, like enough Marvel knowledge to where I could just like drop hint thing of like guy with wrecking ball on chain, and everyone gets excited, and I'm like, oh man, this is what I need. And it's just such a jolt of like just pure adrenaline when we keep layering on more craziness. This is the kind of comic book that I used to love to read, of like, oh my god, the Wrecking Crew and AIM and Dr. Doom is on his way. Like, that's bananas. It's so much. How does this even go? And
That's why you buy next month's issue. Yeah.
the exfil now. Like, you got the mission, you finished them, you got the gear and stuff. And it was really, really fun. Mark, I loved the way that you played Starfall in downtime and actively. Like, she's such a complete and interesting character, and I think she's a great team leader, and that's hard. That's a hard thing to do in an RPG, especially like in a trad game. It's easier to play a leader because people will fall in line. But if we're a bunch of indie heads and we're all like, I'm gonna do my own thing, ooh, screw the military, but like we were on board, and you herded these cats very well. Cody, well, I thought Orion was just going to be this dork, McGorky character, but he's really kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And you've shaped that recklessness into something of he's just naive enough to try the really crazy idea and make it work. And that's delightful. It's so much better than the like, I thought he was going to be the plucky sidekick kind of character, and he's not. And I'm really, really thrilled by what he has become. I think that's awesome. Stephen, Pawn as Vicious, it's not a character type that you normally play, and seeing you do that and just being mean, ooh, gave you a weird kind of life. I quite liked it. You should be vicious more often. I mean, you can be mean, you play surly characters, but that was hardcore. Like, I'm just gonna let the handcuffs like solidify in the guys. Ooh. Woo! It was great. It was great. There were some really, really cool scenes in this, and I appreciate you guys being on board with the idea of, yeah, let's just do it on a bullet train. Because that was,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I don't want to do it in the air, because at first I was like, oh, it could be no, we did the helicarrier. It's got to be a new thing, and it needs to have movement. So bullet train.
Yep.
And
Bullet train
didn't
is
wanna
such a great setting.
I'm glad. I did want it in Japan, and it turns out there are a lot of bullet trains, guys. Just, not in America, but maybe there was a point of me who said maybe I'll make it in the Hyperloop because it's in the MCU future. But then I was like, I don't want to give credit to the Hyperloop guys for actually being successful. So they got to actually make it work before they get to be in my fantasy land. Anyway, it was fun stuff. I really, really enjoyed this session. Thank you guys so much. With that, we'll stop the recording.